You have your visa to Australia. Now, whether it's a temporary visa like a tourist visa or a permanent visa like a partner visa, most of those who came to Australia from the Philippines are thinking of returning someday. Now, regardless of how much your Filipino lady loves Australia, she will want to visit her family again someday. It's a Filipino thing. The question comes up about whether this will cause problems or not. Now, single entry versus multiple entry. A visa can be either single entry or multiple entry, and it means pretty much how it sounds. Single entry means you can enter Australia only once. Now, even if this was for a 3-month stay, if you arrive today and leave tomorrow, well then that's it. One single entry to Australia only, back to the Philippines where she needs another visa before she can travel again. Now, multiple entry, that means you can enter and leave pretty much as often as you like. The visa doesn't end when you leave. You may return in accordance to the conditions of the visa grant. Now, it may have a last date to enter, in other words, must not arrive after this date. It may have an expiry date, and it may have a maximum stay period. But basically, as long as you abide by these conditions, you can arrive and leave. Now, it must not arrive after. Okay, if this is a multiple entry visa, and unless this date is also the expiry date, you may actually arrive on this last date to arrive and you may stay. Now, a stay period, this means the longest period you may stay. If this is a multiple entry, it means per visit and not per visa. Now, travel facility, this will say single or multiple. And this is how you know if it's multiple or single entry. You've got a couple of examples here, as you see. Must not arrive after, that's the last date that you can arrive. Now, this particular one, that's a single entry, so it means can arrive, can stay up to 3 months. Single entry only, must arrive before that date. Can't turn up on the 18th of November, or can't stay. Okay, here we have a multiple entry. So what this is saying is, this is the very last date that the applicant may arrive, 5th of May here. Stay period is 3 months from the date of each arrival, multiple entry. So in this case, applicant can come, stay up to 3 months, go, and then return again using the same visa, and can do that up until this particular date, which is the last date to arrive. So how is the stay period actually measured? Now, it's normally set out in months, and months means months. 3 months means 3 months. It does not mean 90 days, and it is date to date. So if you arrive on, say, 5th of March for a 3-month stay, then you must leave on 5th of June or before that date. And the stay period starts and finishes at the Australian airport. So if you leave at 10 p.m. from Manila on the 5th of March and arrive in Sydney at 4 a.m. on the 6th of March, then your stay period started on the 6th of March, and if it's a 3-month stay period, you must leave at that Australian airport on or before 6th of June. Fairly straightforward. Now, what if you overstay? Alright, you've got two scenarios here. If you overstay for less than 28 days, you happen to misjudge and turn up a day late, alright, they will most likely cancel the visa, but nothing else. However, it will sit on your record and it may influence decisions about granting visas again in the future, so you still need to try very hard not to do that. More than 28 days, much worse. Now, they will cancel the visa, and under PIC 4014, this is written in law in the migration regulations, they will issue a 3-year ban from applying for further tourist visas. So, not a good thing. Just note this ban applies to temporary visas only, so the ban doesn't prevent you from applying for partner visas, but tourist visas, yes, most definitely. So, obviously, don't do it. Look at the visa grant letter. This is your responsibility to read. Saying I didn't read it, that's no excuse. And you need to monitor these essential dates. And don't ever assume that Down Under Visa will be watching the calendar for you We have enough to do. Okay. Now, leaving Australia and returning again, where you can go to, and can you take a boat cruise? Now, when your visa conditions require you to leave Australia before you return, then you must do this. Don't even think about overstaying, as I said before. The consequences can affect you long into the future. Now, when you are required to leave Australia and at the end of a stay, such as when you are on a multiple entry tourist visa, then leave Australia you must do. Now, do you need to return to the Philippines? Not necessarily. If you would rather spend a few days in Bali or go shopping in Hong Kong, then feel free. You just need to make sure of two different things. Now, firstly, does she or the accompanying sponsor need a visa to go where they're going? Now, many ask about New Zealand. A Filipino needs a visa. Can't just arrive there, so make sure you do your homework beforehand. And second question is, are you actually leaving Australia? Now, the last issue particularly applies to boat cruises. Now, taking a boat ride is not always leaving the country, and if you don't leave the country, then you will breach visa conditions. This applies to larger cruise ships that take these round trips and come back to the same port as the one they departed from. Now, so if you are on one of these, even if you got off the boat in Vanuatu and spent a night there, and then again in Fiji, it's possible and highly likely that if you got back on the same boat and went back to the same port in Australia, then you technically never left Australia. However, if you flew back, or if you went back to another port in Australia, then possibly you did leave Australia. And if you don't leave Australia, then when you are supposed to, you could have inadvertently overstayed your visa. Take note of what I said before. If that was in excess of 28 days, could be quite bad. So our advice has always been this: ask the cruise company, don't ask us. Ask them if you will be effectively leaving Australia if you go on the cruise. Don't guess and don't take a risk. Happy travels. This video was brought to you by Down Under Visa, who specialise in visas for Australian Filipino couples. Please visit our website and complete a free visa assessment form. And please watch some of our other videos. Thank you.